husband was the corner.
Good morning. Is it on?
Yes, we're just very noisy.
Because I can hear you, I just can't hear me. That's unusual. So we're going to have we have an appointment at 10:30, 10:45, so we're going to move along pretty quickly. Right. Okay. I'll fill in for the people who aren't here. So for COVID updates, turn to your left, turn to your right, give everybody a round of applause. We're moving into our 4th week with no COVID cases. So that's a very big accomplishment. With that, however, we're getting word that the new strain that's coming is more virulent and more easily transmitted, and to gear up and go forward. But we're going to continue doing what we do because we do it well. So if you've gotten your booster shots and haven't told us about it, let me know the dates so we can keep track of that for you. But our vaccination rates are still very good. Among staff, it's in the very high 90s. With residents, we're in the low 90s. So very, very good rates. And that's, I think, a big key to our success. But it's not a time to let our guard down. So keep doing what we're doing. The sales update. Do we have any new residents that have moved in this month? Stand up if you will. Barbara and Larry and Barbara White. Larry's the one in the blue shirt. The current census is 154 occupied units in town center and casitas, with one new resident taking possession tomorrow, but not moving in until next month. So we'll end the month at 155. So very good, marching forward there. Assisted living still remains a bit of a focus for us. We're at 29 of the 36 apartments. We budget for 34. We're at 29. We're running a special there. So we're waiving the community fee and 50% off the first 2 months. We're looking at why that is, because that program always has stayed fairly full. And what has Bella Bellagio now is in its 4th year, and they've kind of found their footing and their stride. And so that's where they're drawing off some of the people that would come here normally. So we're looking at ways that we can rebuild the census there and get it going, and I have every confidence we will. It's just letting Bella Bellagio have their share now. And the skilled nursing center is 28 today. We've been averaging a little higher than that throughout the month, which is the best month we've had since the start of COVID. So very good there as well. That's it for sales. I'm going to skip over the phone system, and Craig can do that since I've got the microphone. I'm just going to keep it. In human resources, Lori is doing an orientation for new staff today. I don't know who's in orientation. Do we know? A server. Oh. That's all I want to do. So that's a very positive thing. Our other new exciting new team member is, stand up and take a bow, Nestor. Nestor comes to us from a very prestigious senior care community, and lots and lots of experience. So, for those of you who don't know, Nestor was maintenance director here for many, many years, and took a step back, but now with, what's your name? with Alex leaving, Nestor has graciously agreed to step back into the role. So we're welcoming him with open arms. Nestor has a knowledge of the building and of the functions and the contractors and everybody else that we just couldn't replace anywhere.
And the residents.
And the residents, absolutely. So during the time that Alex was here, it was a great opportunity for Alex because he had Nestor as a resource to learn all that kind of stuff. So we're thrilled that you did that, and welcome back. As Vanessa says, welcome to the dark side. And then dining services, I'm skipping down to the bottom. Dining service, we're still reminding people for parties of 5 or more, you need to make a reservation. That's even if you have a standing table of 5 or more. You need to put in a reservation each day so they can prepare for it. And then I put in the letter last week that we're looking for resident volunteers that want to assist in the dining room. It will be volunteer appropriate jobs. We're not asking people to serve tables or be dishwashers, that kind of stuff, unless you really want to. And so it's like being a hostess, checking people in, directing them to a table. Alan Winterbotham is going to be our ex officio sommelier. And so we got to see, where's Dan Austin? Is he here? No. Dan's not here? There was a day last week, or was it this week? I don't remember now. It was last week, where all the residents chipped in. Where's Mrs. Miholovic? Not here either? Oh, I wanted her to be here so she knew I said her name right. Everybody jumped in, pouring water and getting soup and things like that. It was great to see. So thank you everybody for that. Thank you for your patience. Yes?
How will that work? We'll be in charge of organizing the volunteers.
Once we have the list of the volunteers, we'll have a meeting. We'll get together. We'll go through what it is. Maybe have sign-up times for people, what they're going to be doing, and then somebody will work with you. Usually a manager or something will work with you so you see what is needed.
So how do you sign up?
Just let me know. I'm keeping a list. So, Cheryl. so is someone else. And so it's a good opportunity. It's a fun opportunity. We want it to be fun. It's not going to be
Would this be as an interim until you have enough staff?
Oh, 100%. Unless it works really well. Yeah, no, as soon as we get enough staff, but who knows when that's going to be. We're seeing it lighten up a little bit. We're seeing more applicants coming through. The biggest challenge we're having with that is they're not vaccinated. So we're getting probably about 75 to 80% of the applicants are not vaccinated and have no desire to be vaccinated. So, yeah. So it's we support people's decisions, but you can't work there if you're not. So so let me know if you're interested in volunteering, or any one of us. We'll get to work together and we'll get it put together. I'm hoping next week to have some a semblance of that together. So thank you very much. And then I'm going to save the disaster recap for the last. So Craig, you want to talk about business office?
Well, no, I don't want to talk.
All right. So.
No, I don't want to talk.
Yeah, I don't want to talk. A slight update on the phone system. So we still don't have a concrete date yet. However, we finally have gotten billed for the new phone system. I'm not sure how that worked, but so the equipment was purchased. We've been billed for it. I've been waiting for an update from our corporate phone guru as to any update as to when that will arrive and things like that. But at least again, small baby steps, so we're moving forward. I have been trying to contact those that I know still have a Carlotta phone number. Just as a reminder, when we do switch the phone system over, if you have a Carlotta number, which is a 760-340 number, if you still have that and you have not switched over to another carrier, basically either Frontier or Spectrum or a cell phone service, that sort of thing, that number will go away when we switch over. Okay? I only have a few people left on my list, so I think most have switched over, but if you haven't, it's just as a reminder, and if you need some assistance, you can contact me or Vanessa. Either one will help get you switched over to a new carrier, only if you're wanting to keep that number. If you're not using it anymore and you don't care about it, it will go away automatically and you don't have to do anything. So that's our.
Is there a drop off for our phones?
No, any phone that's in your apartment would belong to you. We don't supply any of the equipment. So any phone that you have plugged into a wall right now, that would not be, none of that is Carlotta's equipment. That would be your own phone.
Can you just dispose of it yourself?
Yeah, you can, if you're not going to use it anymore, you can throw it away. If you're not going to use your phone anymore.
If you want, just give it to us and we'll donate it to a charity.
I'm sorry?
If you want, you can donate it to us if you're not going to use it, and we'll get it to a charity then.
Or Cozy Corner.
Or Cozy Corner.
I changed over to Spectrum, but I opted to keep my old number. Am I counted as a Carlotta number?
No, if you're getting a bill from Spectrum for the old Carlotta number, you're off our grid at this point. Any other phone questions? Then I will turn it over to Vanessa.
Who is now known as Craig.
I can only be so lucky. Good morning, everyone. I have a positive Life Loop update. Our two systems are now talking, so all of the IL, which is you, my lovely residents, are now in Life Loop. So I have everyone's username. So what does that mean? So every day, every Tuesday in November in the Dickinson Lounge at 1 o'clock, I will help you download the app on your smartphone, on your tablet. You can also go use your laptop or your computer to access Life Loop, and I'll show you how to navigate Life Loop. So now you can have the calendar of events, everything on your phone. So that is a very positive update. So starting in November, I will show everyone how to do that. Any questions on Life Loop?
Do we need to make an appointment for?
No, we'll just come on Tuesdays, and I'll be doing it every Tuesday, and the introductory is all the same. The steps are the same. 1 o'clock.
Where?
The Dickinson Lounge. The Dickinson Lounge.
What about the TVs?
So we do, so the question was, what about our in-house channel? Tentatively, I have Charter supposed to come in mid-November to set up the TVs. They were supposed to come this month, but with the big hurricane in Florida, that took their resources and focused it out there. So they told us about mid-November. So hoping no other natural disaster happens from here to then, we should be good to go. And hopefully the in-house channels will be in mid-November. Yes, Pam?
Is there something different between what we have on our phone and the in-house channel, number one? And number two, are you talking about the TV that's hooked up to the cable? Or in my case, I just have a Roku on my smart TV.
Okay, so the question is, and I already forgot. I'm just kidding. So if you look at our TVs that are situated in our community, you know, on one side it has the daily activities, and then the other side it has little slideshows. That's what you will be seeing on your end, on your TV. Now, if you have a smart TV, we can download the app where you would sign in and you can still see those same features. Yes.
And that is the life loop, that's what we'll see on
Yes.
our phones and everything?
No, so what you'll see on your phone is very different. What you will see, if you have any type of social media, you will know that when you log into LifeLoop, which I will go through all of this, and I'll even put a link in the weekly letter that you can just click, and there's a 5-minute YouTube video on it. What you will see is there's icons, and you click on the icon for the calendar. You click on the icon for the newsletter, for any announcements. Once you're registered in, you create a password, you're going to be added to the directory. So you can actually send messages to each other just here in the community. So if you run a bridge group, let's say, and you're running 20 minutes late, you can send a message to your bridge group that says, don't worry, I'm running 20 minutes late. If you sign up for a program, an activity, some type of offering, they'll send you a reminder about an hour before and says, don't forget you signed up for XYZ at this time in this location. So moving forward, we can do work order request on it, but I would have to train Master how to use it. So please don't put any work order requests in there. Moving forward, we can put menu items. We can do reservations for dining. There's a lot of cool stuff the app can do, but that is moving forward. At this time, all we want it for is for calendar, newsletters, and that's it. And if your family wants to share photos, say they are, come across an old photo of, of a great vacation, they can upload it to your profile and other people can also see that. Go ahead, and then Mrs. Kempner.
Does that mean that you're controlling your smart TV with your phone instead of the thing? No.
No, it's two separate things. So
Okay.
your TV will have the in-house channel, and then your smartphone, tablet, your iPad will have. It's a different feature. Like I said, I'll go over this every Tuesday and I'll help you navigate. I'll answer more detailed questions then.
I'm a technological moron, so you can tell.
No. Mrs. Kempner?
I already have the Life Loop.
Mm-hmm.
I already have the Life Loop app on my phone.
Mm-hmm.
And I just now entered my email address and it says, congratulations.
Oh, perfect.
It says, if your email or phone number exists in Life Loop, then you should have received a link to reset your password.
So if you have your personal email address with us in Point Click Care, which is the system we use, and if we have your family member's email address, once they put that in there, it will send you a link, but we would need the address, the email address on file. If not, I have all of your usernames. Yes, Fritz?
Is there any chance on the TV screens to put up a quiet nature program on the standing TV so it doesn't always just be the stationary thing? It would make it much more user-friendly if that were cycled back into the system.
Yes, I can. So the question was if I can put some nature pictures, videos in our in-house channel, so while it's looping, it's not the same 10 slides over and over. I can do that. But they're not that long of a video, so it would only be a 2-3 minute short break, and then it would be back to looping to the other slideshows.
Call it 2-minute meditation.
Yes, we can, a 2-minute meditation. But ideally, and your in-house channel, you're not gonna have it on all the time. That's just a great way of saying, is there something going on today? You turn to channel whatever, and it tells you right there. Yes, Pam?
Will you also be making communications as appropriate? Like, when we had when we recently had an alarm go off, and then when it stopped, it would have been nice to hear a communication or see it on my phone, you know, not to worry, it was supposed to test, or we got there in time, we didn't have to call the fire department. That kind of information.
We can send out special announcements, but the trick is everyone would have to have it download to your phone in order for you to receive the announcement.
And who can
Well, I mean,
program it?
people, I would want that.
But you're not here all the time.
I can do it from
Oh,
And I can also teach the concierge how to do that.
okay.
I mean, there could be an emergency coming up or anything like that, that I would want that on my phone.
Yeah, there's a special tab for that. Once again, in this week's weekly letter, there will be a link. Just click on that link, and it's a quick YouTube video on how to use LifeLoop and what you will see. Or you can always go to YouTube and type in LifeLoop. There is an array of videos on the subject.
Okay.
All right, beat it to death. Anything else? I'll see you Tuesdays at 1. Mrs. Adair.
Vanessa, is the old information that's on LifeLoop, will the old information that's on LifeLoop go away? In other words, if it's Tuesday, is it still gonna have Monday information? It'll just be from that day forward.
It's only on a 24-hour. Every 24 hours it updates. All right, thank you.
Good morning. Good morning. All right, so the first thing we've got is scalping. So if you came in this morning and you saw them start to scalp, you're like, didn't they say last time that they weren't going to do it? Yes, we did. So the gardeners have decided to move forward with scalping. Got some clarification from Blue Agave Landscaping that the water bill and the fines only apply to grass on the outside of our facility, our community. So we can continue doing it, and they're going to do reseeding next week. So that's why you're seeing them start to scalp this week.
But not on the outside.
Not on the outside. And
Well,
then,
what is the outside? That's just along Carlotta Drive?
yeah, it's just along the Carlotta Street, which is a very small, maybe like 2 feet of grass. So they'll reseed there, but they won't be scalping it down. So you'll have some grass.
I thought you meant outside of there.
No, outside of the
Right, yeah,
community. So outside of the community walls.
Along the
Yeah.
interior, like outside of my window.
Everything
No,
inside
that-
of the gates will be done.
That still will be done as regularly scheduled. So that's a plus. That's a positive plus. Next thing we've got is the wellness placards versus the aerial check system. I'm going to be partnering with Mike later this afternoon to train him and whoever he deems fit as the staff to monitor that system. We're going to have to partner with Stanley still to make sure that these alarms or the notifications can't be cleared from the computer, because that would be a big breach. If somebody can just clear that from the computer, then defeats the integrity of the system. So we're going to clarify that. I'm going to partner with Mike, and hopefully we'll get that implemented in mid-November here. And then we've got work orders, which I know we're still very far off from our 24-hour desired contact time, but still the best way to get your work orders addressed and get them in the system is get them to the front desk. Sometimes they're a little bit behind too, but when you get them to the front desk, they get entered and they go into our system, and we can see them, and we'll contact you as early as we can. Any questions on anything?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Are you putting weed killer on with the seeding?
So there's herbicide in the seed mix that Blue Agave uses. So, yes.
Are you planning to hire any new maintenance employees?
Yeah, so we have two that we tried to extend an offer. I didn't hear from one of them. One of them I will be following up with this week, but he just had a child, so it'll be a week or two before he can come in. But I'm hoping we can get them in sooner than later.
Two or
Two.
Just the one. I want two, but I just have one lead right now.
Could you, in response to a work order, could you give us some idea of when the work order is liable to be responded to, rather than not knowing anything?
Yeah, that's something that I've been trying to implement, and it's easier said than done, but assigning to each individual maintenance associate to have the responsibility of at least reaching out to the person or resident to let them know a reasonable time frame. So that's something that Nestor and I will be partnering with before my departure to make sure that's something that's implemented going forward, to where at least if we're not getting your work order done within 24 to 48 hours, at least we're contacting you to let you know a reasonable time frame.
Okay, good.
Anyone else? All right, so the last thing here is we've got Orkin Pest Control. Ron and I met with them last week, and we had them come and do a deep dive assessment of our facility, our community, and we are going to have them come back to do a room-by-room assessment to make sure that there's no activity in these rooms. They did an assessment of the outside. They're going to be doubling up the amount of bait stations that we have.
They've already done it.
They've already done it? Oh, so Ron just said they've already doubled up the amount of bait stations that we have. I recommended that we have at least 2 bait stations on either side of every entrance in IL and independent living and assisted living. So they've put those on there, and hopefully that will diminish and deter the issues that we've been having the last couple of weeks, the last few months. Any questions on that? Yes.
I assume you're talking about bait stations for rodents.
Correct.
Okay, so if they're on the exterior near the various lobby entrances,
Right.
how often are they coming in?
So Orkin, our contract with Orkin is they come out every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And they're checking, I think the bait stations are checked once a week. I don't know which one of those days they are,
And
but
those bait stations will, like if the rodent dies, they'll just be there?
Now they take they've learned more about rodents than I ever wanted to know. So they take the bait out of the bait station, and then they go to find water. And the poison in the bait doesn't activate until they consumed water. And so then they're dying outside somewhere. But there has been cases where they've made it inside and died. And we find out, we know. Yeah, and one of the things that we found with the bait station check was that some of the bait stations weren't being serviced. They're done every Wednesday, or supposed to be done each Wednesday. So Oregon was put on notice about, sticking to the schedule with that and getting it done. Once we've given the bait enough time to activate that we know there's not new ones coming in, then they're going to come and do the room-by-room inspection, looking for individual points of entry and different things like that. So that should happen over the next couple of weeks. Yep.
If you want maintenance to respond quickly, just have a dead mouse in your apartment. and with that, I want to thank them for responding. I've had about 9 of them over the last 2 or 3 months. So
Their whole family.
They come right away, and I really appreciate that.
Thank you.
Are we started spraying for ants yet?
They spray for ants as they're identified in the building. They'll do individual spot treatments.
All around the sidewalks in the town center.
And then there's a big treatment coming up for outside in December. And then with vector control. So the county does that for us for red ants and for the mosquitoes every 6 months.
Ron,
Are they addressing the rats that are up in the attic? I hear them playing up there all the time, waking me up.
Well, okay, so if you ever hear those, anything that you think or might be or suspect could be something that shouldn't be there, it's important to let the front desk know.
I do.
So they put it into the Orkin log, and there's a list that Orkin checks when they come, and then they go and investigate and treat those individual areas. So they have put out, if it's in the log, they've put out glue traps to catch them, and then they come back week after week and check the trap to make sure it doesn't have anything in it.
Thank you.
On the outside of my apartment, on the courtyard side, there is a piece of the stucco that was knocked off by the gardeners that's never been replaced. However, there's a hole there. I don't know whether little critters can get in that hole and climb up the walls.
Mm-hmm. That's one of the things we've asked Orkin to do, is to identify any potential breaches, and then we'll be coming behind them to repair the areas. Some of the stucco work I've seen and I know, and maintenance has been good about going around and patching it when they have, but there's more that we need to get to, obviously.
Yeah, this is quite a large piece that's about yay by yay that was knocked off the corner.
Okay.
It's kind of propped up there now, but I can show.
What's your room number?
127.
Courtyard side.
As you're looking at the back of my apartment from the courtyard, it's on the left side.
Nestor says he's going to get right on it.
I did say
He did say. So, okay. All right. Any other questions for Alex? I want to thank Alex for all that he's done. He's been here just a short while, but it feels like a long time. And really has accomplished quite a bit during that time, and has raised the bar for Nestor. So thanks very much. Thank you. Best and good luck in all your future endeavors.
So much.
Don't use us as a reference. So, okay, the last on our agenda is the disaster recap. Thank you to everybody who participated. We didn't have a big turnout. Next time we do it, I'm hoping to have a larger turnout. And we're going to spice it up a little bit so that it's fresh and people will want to come to it. But after meeting with people who participated and getting together the department head team to see what worked, what didn't work, we've come up with a list of things that we're working on as a result of the drill. So there was a need for a better understanding about the fire alarm system and how the fire alarm system works. There are actually 3 different systems here in the property. One controls town center, another is in the skilled nursing building, and then another is completely separate for the casitas. So in the casitas, and this is what most people didn't know, in the casitas, if your alarm goes off, it does not notify the town center building. So the concierge, no one over here knows that an alarm is going off in the casita. What it does is send a notification to our monitoring company, who then notifies the fire department and then us. And so we very often won't know that something's happening at the casita, in the casita. So if an alarm goes off in the casita, you are encouraged to call the front desk, one, to notify them it's happening, and then to get an update if we know what's happening. Like most, burnt toast, and or as recently happened here, burnt popcorn. So but eventually there's the likelihood that it could be a real emergency. Now, each of the casitas, in the individual casitas, in your little block of 4, each individual casita is its own fire unit. And they're separated from the other casitas by a firewall that is for a minimum of 45 minutes. So there could be a fire in the casita right next to you burning against the wall, but it would be 45 minutes before smoke or fire could get through the wall to your casita. So unless the fire and smoke is right in your apartment, it's okay to stay there, okay? And it's not an emergency that you have to get out the door right now. If you're in danger, yes, but otherwise, it's okay to stay there until you know what's happening. Yes?
You can't stay inside when the alarm goes off. It drives you crazy. You have to go outside.
It's too loud.
They're very loud. There's a decibel level that is required, and it's for people who have hearing difficulties and who will have hearing difficulties after you
We often get, in the casitas, we get alarms on the weekend. And I do call, and I'm sure other people in the casitas also call. But there's no one available, like on Saturday or Sunday, to turn it off. What happens?
So, like what happened? So usually what happens on the weekend, because it's in the casitas or wherever it may be, the signal does go to the fire department and they do come. They reach out to me, usually that's the number they have on file, and I can either reach out to one of the main associates to come in, or sometimes the fire department can't turn it off themselves, which is what happened, I think, 2 weeks ago. What did that happen? Like 2 weeks ago? Last weekend? So the fire department came, and then I had Manny come in because it went off again later that day, and Manny came in and turned it off. So that's how we get those off.
There are different places throughout the casitas where they're turned off. And it's not something that we train all the staff to do. We don't want staff going around turning off alarms. And so the alarms stay on until the fire department tells us it's clear, or we're 100% sure of what caused it, like, burnt toast. But otherwise, we don't train all the staff to go turn them off. That's not a good thing. You know what would happen. So we are reaching out to the fire department we reach out to them every year to participate in our drill, and every year they politely decline. But we're asking for them to come in and do a sit-down, coffee with the fire captain or something, so you can address, questions with them. I understand that they have come out to some of the senior communities and done that, so we will keep reaching out to them. Our fire department, our fire captain is on the corner of Cook and Portola, and the communities that I know they've gone to are right next door to them. So, it's maybe a little different there, but we'll try to get them here. And they, when and where to exit, I think we covered that. The safest place is to stay in your apartment or stay where you are. And, well, if you have to get out because of the noise, do that if it's safe to do so. And maybe we should issue earplugs to everybody. And
When the last one went off a couple months ago, so the people in my area, we all went outside. You couldn't stay in the apartment. And so then the door at the end of the hall, of course, closes. And then we couldn't get back in. Because that door must lock or something.
Was it a stairway door? You went out a stairway door?
Yeah, we're in the lobby. It's on a magnet, when it's...
Okay. The corridor doors you can open when they close. The corridor doors can be opened either way. They might require a little bit of elbow or something. They swing different ways, so...
Yeah, so the release is on one side, there's one release on this side, one release on this side.
So, but they should be able to, you should be able to go through it.
We came back in the east lobby door to the closed door into the hall.
Okay.
And it.
That's the one nearest your apartment?
Yes.
Okay. We'll have Nestor and Alex look at it and see.
And the magnet is kind of broken too, so.
Oh, well, that we can definitely take care of. All right, fire extinguisher training. I think that some of the people who came to the disaster training found that beneficial on how to use it and the acronyms of pass, pull, aim, squeeze, and sweep. So pull the pin, aim the nozzle at the base of the fire, squeeze the handle, and sweep the fire into oblivion. We'll be doing more training on that for people. And then there was the other acronym, RACE. Does anybody remember what that was? Rescue, with yourself or others from immediate danger. Alarm, make sure an alarm is going off if there's a fire. Contain the fire, so close the doors. And E was for exit
Extinguish.
or extinguish. So, okay? So I brought that up because it'll go into the next thing we'll talk about. And then staff training. We found that after the drill, some of you were quizzing staff about what to do during a disaster and during an earthquake, and they said, I don't know. So we're going to beef up the training that they get. They all go through disaster training when they're hired, and then we do fire drills and disaster drills all throughout the year. So they have all been through training, but we're going to re-emphasize the training so they have a better, complete understanding and aren't going, I don't know. And then the biggest recommendation that came out of all of this was the need to put together a guidebook, a small guidebook for everybody about what to do. You have basic instructions, where to go, what to do, how to do it, that kind of thing.
How about laminated instruction that you could paste to your entrance door like you do in hotels to tell you exactly what step to take?
That's a good suggestion. There are some materials that are given out. The suggestion was to issue laminated instructions that you can put inside your door, like they do in a hotel. So people are given some of that when they move in, where the exits, where the assembly areas are, a basic overview of the fire and disaster system, that kind of thing. But there was a need to make that more extensive and more inclusive of everything. So we'll be working on that over the next couple months and getting that out. Okay? Yes, Marjorie.
I noticed there are large wrenches near the gas meters and the casitas. How are they used?
They're there because it's a requirement. We don't expect you to actually use them. The wrench fits on, there's a little ball valve or a little, that you would put the wrench on and turn to shut it off. The likelihood that you're going to have to shut off the gas by yourselves is very minimal. We'd only would shut that off if there was an actual fire, and the fire department's going to be here for that. So.
Or earthquake.
Yeah, well, you don't automatically go turning them off during an earthquake. Okay, if there's a gas leak, we know there's a gas leak, you turn them off. But everybody doesn't need to run outside after every earthquake and turn them off. So that's more the staff's responsibility. Okay. All right. Thank you very much. I think we're right on time. I got 1 minute. Thank you very much.